What's up, guys? Welcome into the show. I'm Michael with the FlyZone Drone Show. Today we have a great show for you guys tonight. There's one thing I want to say to everybody, and it's really getting to me. I'm so sad. We have one of our members in the drone community, Marcus Crawford. His father passed away, I think, this morning, and we want to give him a little bit of love. And later on, we're gonna do a little bit when Sergio gets here. We'll do a little bit of silence for a moment of silence for Marcus's father. So, but let's get in with the show, guys. We do love you, Marcus, if you're watching. And let's bring Johnny in because Sergio will be a little bit late. He's getting off work a little late. He got held back. So let's add Johnny to the stream. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mike. Of course. Yeah, you know.
Johnny, your mic is off, I believe.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me, Johnny?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, good. I got it.
Good.
I can hear you.
Yeah, no, thank you, Mike, for having me in. We have a great show tonight. Yeah, and my condolences to Marcus. he and I and Ron were talking before the pre-show Monday night when I was on Drone Nation, and he was telling us about it. So yes, it's gonna be a tough couple of days for Marcus there, but I just text him and just let him know everybody's thinking about him. So yeah, hey, I like the intro, and that was kind of high tech there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I did a lot of hard work on that thing. It was driving me nuts at the same time, losing my mind and doing this at the same time. You guys, it's some hard work. But
yeah,
I'm not a real high tech person, so it's harder for me. So
that was pretty.
With time, I'm learning. You learn as you go, basically, guys. So
yeah, that was good.
But Sergio did the last intro, by the way. It's like a template. You can use a template. There's templates out there. But so Sergio will be a little bit late, guys. He's working, and man, I'm just really heartbroken. I just feel really, because I know how it is to lose a father. So it's like right now, after I got this news, believe it or not, I just found out not too long ago, right? Like half hour before the show. So
yeah, Marcus had put it up. Yeah. Well, I think he was 98, so I'm, you have to put it all in perspective there. I mean, it's a great life at 98 or so, but you hate to lose anybody in your family, and
right.
It'd be a tough couple of days.
Yes, but yeah, we have Mr. Sean. We have Sean from Geeksvana, the master of drone news. I call him because he is the master of drone news, of course, and let's bring Mr. Sean into the stream. He is here, guys. Here we go. Let's bring Sean. How you doing, sir?
Hey, guys. Good to see you. How are you?
You too. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Sean, we appreciate you staying up.
We really do. Appreciate it.
Hey, I was already up this evening, so that's not a problem.
Yeah. So yeah, we got this drone in up in Mars, huh, Sean?
We have indeed, yes. Finally landed last night, nice and safely, which is good news. It's still attached to the bottom of the rover at the moment, but they're currently testing the battery charging capacity, etc. Doing all the trying to get past all the usual problems we all have with our drones down here on Earth before they try flying it. So it's exciting stuff for sure.
Yeah, it sure is. I'm gonna take a look. I know I missed it, but I'm gonna take a look at your last stream that you did. But Marcus, let's read out everybody that's in the chats tonight. Let's see who's here. Go ahead, Marcus. I mean, Johnny. Man, I got Marcus on my mind. Poor guy.
Yeah. Well, we got Greg Pittman, Novice Quad, Quish Wedgeworth, Matt Condiff's in the house, JC Flying. Who else is in Texas? Michael Wright's in the house. Michael had a name change there, so keep up with those. And Brad Austin had a name change. So let's see who else is in. I think that's it. Of course, Sean's in here, myself, and I think that's it. Going back, Sam Barnes is here. Yeah,
Sammy, my good old friend Sammy. Welcome to the show, Sammy. I'd like to welcome everybody. Really, really appreciate you guys showing up tonight and giving us our love and support and attending here with Sean. So, all right. So now this FPV drone everyone's talking about, this DJI. So I did hear that so the weight is about 420 grams, correct, Sean? So 420 grams.
795, I think. It's between.
I mean the goggles. The goggles are 420.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Okay, so the goggles are 420, and I believe that the size screen on that is still the same size as the V1, right? The first version. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, indeed. Okay. I noticed the first retail pictures have leaked today, and interestingly enough, the photo that DJI are using for the marketing has a guy stood there flying the drone with his goggles, and has a girl next to him as a spotter. So I find that's quite interesting, because I know a lot of people are sort of like wondering how DJI would market it as far as the legality of needing a spotter. But sure enough, it right there in their retail photos is actually a picture of a guy with the girl next to him as a spotter, which is pretty funny.
So Sean, is it confirmed that this new DJI FPV, is it confirmed that it is acro or not?
Yeah, it is. It is definitely acro. That's the picture there I was just talking about.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
As you can see, a guy flying the quad, and then a girl stood next to him as the spotter. So
they made it legal.
Yeah. Quite interesting sort of nod to the legality there. At least they're trying, I suppose. But yes, it's going to have both the stabilized and acro type systems. I did a live stream during the week with Ken Heron, who's actually flown the drone. And he was sort of, he only had a few minutes with it, but he said it definitely is an acro mode, but it's an acro light mode rather than this isn't a racing quad. This isn't going to be for your hardcore FPV enthusiast who listens to every little whine of the motor to know exactly what's going on with their quad. This really is going to be for the camera drone people that want to, stick on some fake tattoos and put their baseball cap on backwards and pretend they're FPV for 5 minutes. They want to pretend they're Michael for a few minutes rather than dedicate themselves to life.
Sean, do you think that, do you think they should have maybe did something in the middle of the road before they kind of stepped it up to say $1,500, or is that? I'm hearing the price is going to be $1,299 US dollars,
and I'm fairly impressed with that price when you bear in mind that it comes with the goggles, of course,
definitely,
and the radio as well. So I'm fairly impressed with that. I think it's going to potentially define its own niche within drones. I don't think anyone is really going to see it as an FPV or as a camera drone. It's going to be its own thing, a little bit like, for instance, before the Mini, and I know there are some good other drones out there, but before the Mini, the sub 250 gram weight class wasn't really seen as that serious. It wasn't really seen as something that camera drone flyers would seriously want to look at. And of course, then the Mini and now the Mini 2 came out. It's something that camera drone flyers will look at. So DJI essentially looked for that marketplace and filled it with a niche with a new class of drone. Right. And that's very much where I think the FPV drone, the DJI FPV drone, is going to sit, and it's going to fill that void between the two classes, and possibly see some other manufacturers looking to fill that void as well. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, like you say, even I think Novice Quad said something about and if you by the time I guess you bought an Air 2 and that's for $1,000. So. It's a good camera drone is. You're looking at. The Mini 2 is great, but you want to step up a little bit, the zoom or something like that.
I would also agree with Bruce from XJet, where he in his video recently he said that he feels that there's going to be a lot of camera drone flyers that buy it, try the acro mode, and then go scare themselves silly and then go straight back to camera drone mode with it, and there's going to be a lot of those drones that end up just being flown as camera drones, basically. So it's going to be interesting. It's one that I'm looking at myself from the point of view of sorry, we're having things dropped in the background there, from the point of view of sort of expanding my own knowledge. I haven't wanted to get into FPV, but the cinematic side of things, so the Cinewhoop has always interested me. So for me as a camera drone flyer, this is something that I think is going to bring that capability. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and they're hitting a little slow. I guess drone. I say hitting a little niche right now. There's not a lot happening in the drone world. So I think people may be eager to buy, and that could have something to do with it too.
Definitely. Yeah. I think the company, DJI as a company, will be very, very different in 5 years' time. And I think they are churning the drones out, and they'll continue to do that for the next 18 months. Chip dependent, availability of chips, availability of the US market to them, that type of thing. I think they'll keep churning out the drones. I think we'll see a Mini 3 before the end of 2021. The Mavic 3, whatever it ends up being called, is probably going to be here. I know the Inspire 3 has been developed and is ready. So there's an awful lot of drones for them to get out the door, and then you've got Action 2s and everything else like that. So there's a lot of products to come from DJI, and
they spit out a lot of products last year.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they're going through that cycle at the moment because there's a lot of changes happening at the company, and I think they're trying to get this next generation of drones and camera products out and in the marketplace ahead of when they start to make some more fundamental changes, which I think will be coming to the company.
They did, and they lost some higher up people, and then I think
I mean they are majorly restructuring at the moment.
They are, and in California, their research and development, I said they may not be doing that in California anymore, so they got a lot going on.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm just having someone come past my camera very quickly. We had one of our animals decided to be a little bit ill, so she just went to sort that out. Thank you, darling. So it's going to be an interesting couple of years, I think, and I think in 5 years' time, we won't necessarily just be looking at DJI as a camera drone operator. If you look at the recent news that they've actually started hiring people in their vehicle automation division, so they're looking to look into, certainly on the software side of things, they're looking to get into that marketplace. I think it's going to be very interesting.
Yep.
Yes, it will be. It really will. Yeah.
So Sean, any other news about? I know we talked a little bit. I know the remote ID. Any other news on kind of here on our side? The country here about anything different?
Yeah, I think we're in a holding pattern at the moment between the FAA and the marketplace. The FAA were very clear that they wanted the marketplace to innovate. They didn't want to say this is what you have to use, and this is they pretty much put their guidelines out there, and are now waiting for manufacturers to come up with ideas. So I think, and of course the manufacturers are going to be holding in case the FAA make any more changes, and so I think we're in that sort of middle ground at the moment, and I'm not sure we'll see anything too meaty for at least the next 6 to 8 months. And then I think there'll be a slew of updates and manufacturer concepts and everything else like that start to go forward for approval. It's going to be a quiet period for a few months. Saying that, the FAA will probably drop something massive tomorrow now.
Yeah, well, so I mean, like the new FPV drone, it won't have anything special as of right now. There'll be nothing to do with remote ID from that point of view, and you could argue the timing for that type of drone is now, because getting in ahead of that requirement, basically people still have nearly 3 years to use that drone before they even have to worry about it, and frankly by then that kind of tech is probably going to be outdated. Because we've also got some major leaps to come fairly soon with batteries. Within the next 2 to 3 years, the type of batteries we're using in our drones will probably change quite dramatically. Yeah, and that of course will change the entire marketplace. If you can suddenly get twice the flight time from half the size battery, then of course drone design is just turned on its head, both from the self-build point of view and consumer products. Would that be the biggest thing we're facing? I mean, I think the battery thing is going to be the biggest leap forward probably. If you looked at General Motors had an article a couple of weeks ago that year 2035 they may not have cars with motors in them.
Yeah, I mean, we've over here in the UK, we're heading towards, I think it's either 2030 or 2040. We've actually said you will no longer be allowed to sell diesel or gas cars. It will have to be electric, basically. And we've already had manufacturers like Jaguar say that they're going to stop it within the next 10 years and that type of thing. So yeah, it's the battery tech, and there's a few little battery techs which are about to go over the brow of the hill, as it were, as far as their R&D side of things, which I think will make it very exciting for us.
Sean, would that be more of a smart battery or more of a battery that just lasts longer? I mean,
yeah, it's going to be the granules actually inside the battery. So the actual makeup of the battery itself is going to change completely, because there are even batteries being worked on now that can charge within about 5 minutes. So we could be, certainly the next generation of batteries are going to be very, very different. And there's now a lot of money being plowed into battery research and development because of, as you're saying as well, with the automotive side of things. Lawrence Novice Quads was asking in the chat that is it true that to open full acro on the FPV drone that the option is deep in the settings? I'm hearing it's not necessarily deep in the settings, but it won't let you take off in acro mode. Okay. You have to switch to it once you're up and stabilized and that type of thing. Right. And even then, one person, not Ken Heron, another person that's flown it that I've spoken to said that if you get too low to the ground, it starts to back you off automatically. So it won't let you skim along sort of uneven ground and that type of thing. The sensors want you to back off. So I've seen one report this evening where somebody is suggesting that you're going to be able to turn those sensors off in full acro mode, which is again another level of button pressing and saying, okay, we'll only go into that mode but the sensors are turned off and you have to press another OK button, etc. So yeah, you're looking at from taking off in camera drone mode, then going into acro mode, then going into full acro mode. There's a couple of stages to it. So it's always looking to hold you back, basically, which again, bearing in mind it has the option, it has the button on one of the shoulders of the radio to snap it back to stabilized mode. The drone is going to have some kind of control at all times, even if you feel like you're in acro. The drone is going to have some kind of limitation to what you're doing. So it'll be interesting to see how it flies.
Sean, would that have would that drone have any intelligent flight mode stuff, or is that more?
Yeah, it does have.
Great.
It does have active track and the usual things which we're used to seeing on the camera drones.
Interesting.
And a few other tricks as well, because in actual fact the app is something which is a bit of a mystery at the moment. The dealers actually have the drones in stock, but they don't have access to the app. It's one of the ways that DJI are trying to stop leaks and that type of thing. And the testers who are using the drone are saying that it's actually a modified version of existing apps. It's not actually the final app. So things like telemetry don't actually always work fully depending on what mode you're in and that type of thing. So it's a specific testers app that they've developed off the back of one of the existing apps. So no one, even the beta testers, no one yet has actually seen the final app even. So we don't actually know what the final modes will be, which again, I would expect if you go back to the early days of the Phantoms and the early days of the Mavics, etc., we saw a great product release, but then it was developed and we had things added and added and added. And I think we might see that with the FPV drones. We might see more functionality coming along. If you look at it from a marketing standpoint, the way that they released things like the zoom on the Mavic Air 2, etc., helped them with a little blip of sales where all of us YouTubers were talking about it again. Oh, you can zoom, you can do this, you can do that. And then a few more Air 2 units were sold in those few weeks. So I think they're catching on to a few things like that, DJI, and I think we'll see a lot of good stuff released as soon as the drone hits the shelves. But I think we'll also see some stuff released later on.
Yeah. Sean, if you look at the comment down from Michael Wright there by Texas Arc Drone Guy.
Hey, Michael.
He's curious to the new capabilities of the OcuSync 3.
Yeah, I don't know much about that, to be honest. And apart from being told that the signal is amazing, there isn't much else that I can tell you regarding the capabilities. That the three people I've spoken to who have flown it, only one of those is actually in possession of the drone. And the one thing that a lot of people are saying, because one thing I've noticed in this leak sort of area and in this upcoming release is there's been a lot more people that have the drone from DJI that are willing to allow other people to fly it. We don't really hear that much, do we? With previous releases, you don't hear that, Ken Heron's flown it and Ken Dovo's flown it and this person's flown it, that person's flown it. We don't usually hear that kind of thing. So I find that interesting. But the one thing not a lot of people have been talking about is the OcuSync 3.0, which I think is one of the more closely guarded areas that DJI are telling people not to talk about.
And I'm about to say, maybe they tell them not to talk about it. Maybe, like you say, it's not released all the, without the app, maybe they can't,
Exactly. They can't push it to its full limits, etc.
Right. So they can't say.
I know that this drone hit beta testers early, much earlier than they normally would with a drone release, mainly because they're sending them to camera drone guys who, of course, a lot of those people haven't flown FPV before. So they're sending these, and actually some of these people are actually getting 2 or 3 units in case they crash them. So they're sending it to these guys ahead of much more ahead of time than normal, even, so that they can get used to flying in acro mode to make their videos with and that type of thing, and feel confident about how the product flies before they have to release videos. So you don't get that lag of release, and you've got people who were camera drone flyers suddenly trying to fly acro.
Yeah, because most of them I do agree with you. It is kind of like a lot of them never admitted in getting some of the air. They didn't talk about flying Air 2 and a Mini and all that.
Yeah, no, indeed. And the people with them were much more. And in actual fact, I know people that, again, the same kinds of people that had those drones, the Minis, the Mini 2 and the Air 2, and but they were very sort of, yes, I have it, and that's it. They wouldn't say anything else, let alone hearing other YouTubers flying their drones and that type of thing. That's been a bit of a difference here. So I think there is some pseudo marketing going on within it as well, which I know is strongly denied by anybody with connections to DJI, because the message coming down from DJI is they're always very upset about leaks. But you look at the Mini 2 with that guy's unboxing, Manuel's unboxing, and then he was here, there, and everywhere on different channels. And then when the Mini 2 did come out, it was just a video put on their YouTube channel and a new page on their website. They really didn't need to sell that drone much because everybody knew about it and everybody wanted it. So yeah, it's interesting.
It sure is.
Yeah, because the original guy that put it up, I think they actually took that video right down, and then of course it was all over YouTube, because you look in the corner, you can see it said not for sale, and then he thought the battery for the headset was a power block of
a power bank. Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Lawrence was just mentioning in there about the clip with the app being fake, and I think I as I was saying on my live stream, I don't like that clip at all, because there's a couple of things that worry me about it. But Ken Heron himself on that live stream, who has flown it, and 2 other people have confirmed it looks exactly like that for the beta testers. Things like the telemetry, etc., aren't working properly, and there's lots of different things that aren't working properly. They don't even have the new heli style radar on there, the 3D style radar on there, etc. So there's a lot of functions that weren't working, which is why I still included it, because it was interesting. My personal thoughts were that somebody may have seen what the real one looks like and they've mocked something up to look similar. But if it is true, then you could be looking at actual volume coming from the drone itself, which would obviously be one of the first times on a DJI. But again, it would make sense because acro flyers like to hear their motors. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yep, I'm definitely getting
it. Yeah, I keep going on the fence and thinking I might not get it, because I'm not a goggles guy, I'm not an FPV guy, and then I just snap straight back across and say, yeah, I'm getting it. So I probably will end up with it.
That's how I was, Sean. That's exactly
as much as I fight. Yeah.
Well, I think more people probably, especially the camera guys, are going to take a kind of a wait and see attitude just to see. I mean, maybe to see how it is.
Yeah, exactly. I think it might also be a grower. So because again, if you look at the first Mini, there was a lot of us, myself included, that thought, that little thing is just a toy. It's not going to be a serious drone, and some people still feel that way. But then as the review videos came out, as people started flying it and saying, actually, you can get this from it, you can get that from it, then more and more people bought into it. So I think we'll see that with this as well, and they are treading new ground. So. But it would be highly unusual for us to have a DJI product that bombed. So I think they've done their research, and I think they know they've got the sales.
I don't think that'll happen.
You think that's true, Sean? What Michael Wright's saying, that he's expecting the Mavic Pro 3 to compete with the obstacle avoidance sensors on the Skydio 2 with that mechanical shutter?
I don't think it will be called a Mavic, was the first thing I'll say. But also, I agree with Michael that it's going to be an extremely competitive drone. And I think the FPV drone is showing us that it will be something that we're not even really ready for, that we're not even really thinking about. Exactly. I think it will need to be the next generation of machine. And the very early stuff that I hear, the unsubstantiated stuff that I hear about it, is that it is absolutely phenomenal. It is, literally mind-blowing, and takes us on to another level, like the Phantom did, like the original Mavic did, that type of thing. It takes us onto a whole new level of drone use.
Yes, I mean, it's DJI always shows us that curveball, like they'll surprise us with what they put in there, and all these new things. So it's good.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it's about time that we see something come along which is going to push us along to the next generation, essentially the next iteration.
Yes.
Which is why, again, if you look at the Mini 2, they dropped the Mavic name from that, despite it still being a Mavic body. So I'm not sure they would have done that if they intended on using the Mavic name again on their next banner product. And DJI have also shown us with the Mavic itself that they're not afraid of switching form factor. They're not afraid of switching name. Who would have thought they would have dropped that iconic Phantom shape? But now we look at the Phantom, and it's still an amazing drone, but it is outdated. You do need a big case to lug that thing around in, and there are huge advantages to it, and people who love that drone love it. It's a bit like the Spark, actually. There's a huge audience out there that love the DJI Spark, but with the Phantom, it is now a little bit antiquated, but actually it's still the iconic drone shape.
Absolutely,
so they were very brave to move away from that and switch to the Mavic. So I think the FPV drone might almost be getting us ready for what the Mavic 3 might bring, and just how different that drone might be.
Wow. Well, that's what'll keep the buyers coming. New technology.
Exactly. Innovation.
Yeah.
And being ahead of the game.
If you look at the Mini and then the Mini 2 and the Air 2, I'm not saying they all three do the same thing, but they kind of do.
Yeah, and you look at the UK, where we've just had a change in regulations, where actually, you can take one particular course and then the Air 2 is better, or take no course and the Mini 2 is better. And it's, the UK drone forums are full of people saying, should I buy the Mini 2 or the Air 2? This is what I want to do. And you wouldn't necessarily expect that with different classes of drones. You certainly wouldn't have got that between the Mini and the Air 2. There was a definite void between what these things could do, and I think that gap will shorten when the Mini 3 comes out. But again, I think that will is another reason why the Mavic 3, whatever it ends up being called, will be so many leagues ahead, frankly, because it will have to be.
Yeah.
So that was a very long answer for Michael there at Treyarch Drone Guy.
That was your attorney answer, Sean.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, man. I'm going for it. I'm definitely going for it. But like, Michael Wright was asking me if I was going to bring that drone to the meetup by then, and no, Mike, I won't, because I don't think I'll have it by then. I think it's going to be a little bit till I get it. I'm going to wait till it comes out and then purchase it. But no, I will not have it for the meetup. Mike.
Yeah, one thing I would say on that is that anybody who is interested, I would get it quick. If you're on the fence and you're thinking, should I, shouldn't I, that type of thing. Obviously, it's a lot of money, especially in the current economic times and everything else. There's lots of good reasons to hold off. But if you want to get it quick, because the stock that's with the dealers, the stock that's with DJI, there's going to be a decent gap between that stock selling through and the next batch being ready for retail. So with the chip shortages and everything else that's going on. So yes, and anyone that's keen, hit that button quickly.
I know, Sean. It's just that it's this right now. It's very limited right now. So I'm gonna wait.
Yeah. I'm exactly the same. I've just bought a secondhand Inspire 1, and I was sort of sat there thinking, do I really want to spend the money on this with that FPV drone around the corner? And I actually thought, do you know what? I'd rather have the Inspire now and wait, even if I have to wait a few more weeks for the FPV drone. So no, I'm exactly the same. I try to space these things out, and
So maybe you can walk into Best Buy and get it, I guess, on March the 2nd. They're all saying,
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what kind of supply chains they have open for this. You think that would? Well, maybe it would fly off the shelf. Not like. I don't know. Yeah, no, if it's stocked here everywhere, then I think it's going to be hugely popular. And I think the fact that they've had so much time to get this thing into stores is going to help that initial flurry of people get their hands on them, because of course this was supposed to be launched back in January. So there should be a good amount of drones around to begin with.
Yeah, Bill, you have the wrench, buddy. I gave you the wrench. You're our moderator. He's wondering.
Deanna said you won't give her a wrench. She's not wrench worthy.
She'll get a wrench. She'll get the wrench.
She's gonna give you a wrench upside the head if you don't give her a wrench.
She'll do it too. Okay. So, but Sean, there's this. This is I think is this the I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to share this with you guys. This is it's the quantum robotics. It's from. I think this is the drone that they were talking about. Let me show you guys real quick. Let me share the screen. Okay, let's go to the. All right, here we go. I believe it's this one right here. Do you see that?
Not yet, sir.
So that's the one that they were using on Mars.
Well, they haven't used it yet, but yeah, that's Ingenuity, which is up there. It's still currently strapped to the bottom. It's folded up and strapped under a heat shield on the bottom of the rover that's currently driving around the Jezero crater. So they're because their first charge of it, they charged the batteries in flight when it was still on board the spacecraft, and that went very, very well. They've now done one charging cycle on Mars, which again is going okay, and as long as that continues into the next day, then they're going to consider deploying it, and then the key stage will be whether or not it survives its first Mars night, which is extremely cold.
I'm about to say, Sean, what's the? Of course, the Elton John song. In fact, it's cold.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Will it fly, or do they know that?
Well, yeah, they of course know an awful lot about it. We had Dr. Pascal Lee on the second stream that we did last night,
right?
Who's the chairman of the Mars Institute and a director of the NASA Horton Mars project, and he was explaining that they know a lot about Mars, of course, with the other rovers that have been up there, so they know a lot about the atmosphere, etc. And it's something like 2,700 RPM that each of the two props have to spin at to be able to get it up in the air. The flights are only going to be 90 seconds long, and it is the only reason it's there is to prove the concept to basically prove that a rotor blade aircraft can fly in the Mars atmosphere. They believe they have all the data down, but obviously until that thing takes off, they can be very sure, but of course you just don't know what's going to happen.
Taking off is one thing, landing might be another.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a very short flight path, and in actual fact, it was quite funny that one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to drop the drone from the belly of the rover, and then the rover is going to get out of Dodge.
Right.
It's got a little route that's going to take itself way away from this drone, and it's going to be up on a little place called Twitcher's Peak or Twitcher's Mount, and it's going to watch from up there. While the drone takes off, just in case anything goes wrong and it catastrophically starts veering off. The one thing they don't want is that drone smashing into the rover and ruining the whole mission, of course.
Yeah.
And in actual fact, one of its first missions when it takes off is to take a picture of the rover and the rover to take a picture of the helicopter. So it's kind of like the first Mars selfies, really. So we were joking last night that we hope NASA's going to set up an Instagram for the drone, so it can put its selfies on there.
So will that be live stream, some of that, or all of it, or
it'll be just delayed. So there'll be whether or not it depends on the data they're getting as far as how much they'll release live. Okay. And then because of course it's a few minutes behind anyway. So
sure. Oh yeah.
So I would probably expect to see something like a NASA special where they do go live to show the latest images from the rover and Ingenuity helicopter. I'd expect to see something like that certainly in the next couple of days, because the power up cycles, everything else like that, are going very, very well, which is amazing. And one cool fact about that rover is that on the front of the rover they have a little panel, and they've actually inserted different fabrics and materials from spacesuits so that they can test through the and they've got those wired up to sensors, so they can test how the manned spacesuits will react to the Mars atmosphere and over time as well. So there's some very cool, very, very cool experiments happening on all over this little rover. It's incredible.
It is.
And you can tell I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, we all are. I am, but we like to welcome a Phantom Flight 101 in the house, and he does have his own show, and I'm sure all you guys know, with Novus Quads. It's with those guys. They say this show is sponsored by those guys. I love that. I love that when they do that. It's so awesome. So welcome in Phantom Flight 101, and then Steve Capture Life Connections in the house. Welcome in, buddy. Welcome to the show. So, what else do we have today? And then there's this other drone that I wanted to talk about, and I have it right here. I believe it's I don't know if you heard about it. I don't know if it's military, but I think it is. That they're coming up with. It's called the Aviadrone Aerospace, to show off its 210TL drone at IDEX 2021.
Yeah, there are a lot of platforms like that coming out at the moment, and you're kind of going to see a lot of commercial and military grade drone companies come and go in the next couple of years. It's grown. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of companies that come and then they go again. We've already had a few here in the UK that's happened to, and then we'll start to see the serious guys come out the other side probably in the next 2 to 3 years. But yeah, it's a crazy marketplace right now.
I think, Sean. I think the FAA, the government is trying to. They're being so hard on us with the FAA and the rules and stuff like that, because I believe they do want us out. They don't want us to be up in the skies as much, and because all these drones are going to be coming out, and these companies are going to be using drones. The military are going to be using drones a lot. There's going to be a lot of drones up in the sky, and I think they want to limit us from being in the sky so much. So they're giving us a hard time, but
potentially, yeah. I mean, I think that we have an issue that for a long time the sub 400 foot airspace wasn't seen as something that can be monetized. It was seen that there's too many issues, trees, buildings, all sorts of issues with getting any kind of monetization from that. The development of drones has caught the governments of the world and the regulators of the world off guard, and they are now playing catch up as far as being able to now monetize the sub 400 airspace. And it unfortunately will continue to keep changing. The biggest change that's coming isn't remote ID. It's unified traffic management. UTM. That will be the biggest significant change, which will probably alter the hobby the most. But thankfully, that's a good few years away. That's at least 10 years away, really, from being fully implemented.
Right. So it'd be like about 3 years till that takes effect, right? Do you have,
3 years for RID, and then something like about 10 years for UTM.
No, there you have it, everyone. You heard it from the master himself. 3 years. 3 years.
And Sean, really though, I mean, we all like to. I don't even know if you got to get up to 400 feet. Most of the time. I mean, that's a couple hundred feet is. I mean, I personally, I wouldn't have a problem if they said, hey, everything 200 and under is good, but it all. I mean, it looks great. From 400 looks good from 200, but indeed. There is always the argument that actually getting up too high, everything looks the same, so why bother? The good shots, as you say, are much closer down. Right.
But I think it's you're going to see a lot more movement from the regulation side of things actually happening to the pilot, which is what we have now, to the operator,
sure.
moving to the technology. I think in 5 years' time, the drone will know the rules better than you do, and will decide what you can do. And if it's in an area that it can give you 200 feet, that's all it will give you. But the drone and the more advanced software will be able to tell you that. Basically that's what I think is coming down the line, and that's really looking at it from the point of view of the only way that you can have delivery drones, emergency service drones, all the other beyond visual line of sight inspection drones, etc. All of those drones working together with hobbyist drones is if the hobbyist drones have a level of automation that most of us in the hobby wouldn't want.
Right.
So it will become a different type of hobby. So in 10 years' time, it will be very different people flying hobbyist drones, because those drones will almost fly themselves, frankly.
Yeah.
Sadly.
So AZ Drone dude, Sean was asking you a question. When do you think the DJI is going to be announced the new FPV release date? I think March 2nd, right? Was it?
Yeah, I'm hearing March 2nd from a few different places, but I'm also hearing that it could move again. So that was actually from a DJI dealer as well.
I actually thought I saw something that said March the 20th there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they've had a few problems, and one of the problems they've had is with the DJI motion controller, which of course is going to be an add-on for the FPV drone that's only just got through its FCC ID, and that one has a date of the 8th of March as far as the privacy documents. So that will have to be launched by then. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot more of that product on the database than they want to tell us. So I think we're going to see potentially the 2nd happening, but as I say, I've had it from at least one DJI source that it could change again.
Maybe they're gonna bring it to Captain Ray's Sebastian meetup in right there.
Exactly. Why not? They'll certainly sell a few units.
Yeah, absolutely. we might have one or two there. We might have one or two there. Anyway, but
yeah, exactly.
That would be awesome, right?
Yeah, it would be. Maybe Captain Ray is a secret DJI.
Ray. Yeah, Ray.
We're watching you, Ray.
Ray.
He might have, like he set up a little drone meet with 2 or 3 people, and then all of a sudden the drone gets delayed and pops up in Sebastian with Ken, and whoever shows up. That's maybe a lot of coincidences going on there.
Yeah, who knows?
Indeed.
Ray is full of surprises. Ray. Comes up with a whole bunch of stuff. They after giving a big TV. Okay. Does anyone remember? Does anyone remember the FT Aviator?
Yeah, indeed. That thing did not survive the Ken Heron test, did it?
I didn't.
And Ken Heron wonders why manufacturers don't send him drones. But I think that might be one of the reasons right there.
It doesn't go well for Ken. So Ken crashes and repairs, crashes, repairs, crashes and repairs constantly.
Exactly. But yeah, no, the FT Aviator, it didn't seem to do that well out there, unfortunately. But you know, we have to have these products. We have to try these things, don't they? So I congratulate them for trying a new type of controller, but I think it's going to take something different like this FPV drone for people to be able to get their heads around a new type of controller. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with it.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Deanna, my sister-in-law, Deanna, where's my brother at? Is he home yet? He's late. He's fired.
Bless him.
Yeah, Ken Heron didn't test it right, Bill's saying.
Yeah, but again, I think that was part of the issue with the product. It was so different. It was so new that I don't think it necessarily got a good fair crack of the whip, but I don't think it was released and not even released. But I don't think it was beta tested in the right way, in my opinion.
Yeah, Steve. Come to New York with this madness over there. Yeah, I know. So I think DeMarco entered the chat. Oh no, Bob Casey. Bob Casey just entered, right? He wasn't here. Welcome, Bob Casey. Welcome to the show, my man. Welcome. Yeah, Sergio got stuck at work. Sorry, guys. Yeah, those sons of a. Yeah, sir. My brother works for Amazon, so. It's like it all depends when he's got to finish. But for now on, I think he's going to request Fridays off and
Nice.
then work on Saturday so he can be here for the show because, you know, he's got over 200 and something packages that he's delivering, sometimes 300 packages to deliver in one day, and he's got to finish it. And then with this weather here, you know, he's behind, so he had to stay a little later. We understand that and stuff, so. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
Exactly. It happens.
Work comes first, unfortunately.
Yes, or else you can't afford the drones or anything like that. Right, Deanna?
You got to feed the habit somehow.
Yeah, but she won't allow him to buy all those drones. No way. No way. I don't think so.
Well, if she wasn't listening, you know.
She's here. She's listening.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. If she wasn't listening, but
nah, my brother knows how to control himself. He's a good father, good husband. So, yep, he's got to do what he's got to do. What else do we have here? Do you have any snow out there, Sean, at all?
No, we had a little bit. We had a bit of a polar vortex sort of floating around a few weeks ago, and in my part of the country, we don't tend to get too much snow. We had a little bit of it, a little covering of it, but nothing compared to other parts of the country, or you know, obviously what some areas of the States are getting at the moment. So no, we were very lucky this year, but we haven't had proper snow for a good long while.
Wow. I mean, we got it. I mean, we haven't gotten any snow here in Chicago since. I mean, not that much for about maybe a year or two. Not as much, but this year, when it reaches February, in the middle, like almost towards the middle of February, like now, this is where we got hit the most. And when we do get snow here, Sean, it snows one day, and then it'll keep snowing. It'll stop maybe for a day, and then the next day it'll keep snowing and snowing and snowing, and it'll snow for like days sometimes.
Yeah. And it keeps adding and adding.
and we got hit bad here. Like right now, it was snowing a little bit today during the day, and I went out to try to fly my drone today, and my fingers were literally frozen in within seconds. I took my drone. I said, "Screw it! I'm going back inside." I couldn't even feel my fingertips.
Don't blame you at all. I do not blame you.
It's nuts. It's nuts, and I'm getting. I need to fly. I need to get that urge. I get that urge. I need to get my fix. Sean. Flying.
Yeah, no, totally. I know exactly where you come from on that point of view, because obviously, especially when I have a busy week of work and YouTube, then it's sort of like, hang on a minute. I've been talking about drones all week. I want to get out there and fly now.
When it's 3 in the morning.
Yeah, indeed, exactly.
Yeah,
there's always night flying.
Yeah, Sean, we really appreciate you coming on the show. I mean, for this, being this late for you. I mean, really, who does that? I mean, you do that, but and we're grateful to have you here on the show, and everyone else here, enjoys you, and they all support you here in the chats, and
yeah,
I mean, you're just great.
It's a great community, and one of the things I was always very grateful for were people like Lawrence Novice Quads, Herman, Phantom Flight 101. They were very supportive of me when I was a very small channel, and people like Ray Kelly always coming into my videos and the comments and the live streams, etc. So anytime I can come back on and re-support the community as well, I'm more than up for doing that. You have to remember those things, and Kelly Shaw's really takes the lead on that side of things, and he gets himself around the community, and he's not just looking for where can I get more subscribers or where can I get more views. He really is a man of the community, and he's a good inspiration. Yes. I try to take a small line from that inspiration and get around a bit, basically, and just because then the things I've learned from coming on different streams, etc., and the different slants of different audiences. I've been on some hardcore FPV channels, and all sorts of different types of niches in the drone community. It's been really interesting to listen to those audiences as well. It makes you a more rounded person, I feel. The more people you talk to, the more you know, frankly.
Well, I think each person is passionate about what they do. The camera guys are passionate, the FPV are passionate, and just everybody's passionate about what they like.
Yeah, and they've all got a cool story to tell, and I think drones is one of those hobbies where everyone's sort of got almost like a comic book origin story of the drone helped me get fit again, or the drone keeps me sharp, or there's always these things going on in the background. There's always an element of their story which is always so interesting, and I'm a writer by trade, and the story of people, the story of drones, it interests me as much as flying them. So yeah, it's cool.
So you're a writer. No wonder you're so good at this. You're a writer. Sean, you know your stuff. Sean, you need to write me some scripts, buddy.
It helps. It does help, and I've got a few friends in the production, in the TV and video production business that are always there, sort of, especially in the early days where I was literally, the text message lists from these people were, 20 pages long. I'm like, right, I've got the camera. What do I press? Why do I want to press that button? Okay. And what lens do I need to buy now? Okay. What lighting do I, I really bored some of these contacts to death, bless them. But yeah, it all helps.
Your buddy's in here, Sean. He's watching you.
Which buddy?
John Coopy. John Coopy.
Oh, John Coopy in the house. Welcome in, Johnny.
Johnny boy. Hello, sir. How are you? Yeah, but Bob Casey's mentioning about the Ken Heron workshop. That was really good, actually. And Ken has always been very kind. I really enjoyed that workshop because it gave me a few tips actually that I still follow today. There was some good information in there. It was excellent, but people like Ken, even Ken Dobo, he was kind enough to have me on his channel, and he's always up for helping other creators. Kelly Shaw is amazing, as I've mentioned before.
He's got a very kind heart.
Yeah, Ash over at Droning On helped me an awful lot as well, and there are some I think this is an unusual niche in the YouTube creators sphere, where everyone is willing to help each other and sort of, you know, put an arm around the shoulder and say, hey, you know, have you tried this? I really liked your video, but have you tried doing this? Have you tried doing that, etc. And that's helped me an awful lot over the past year, especially.
Right, just like how you helped me out when I asked you that question, Sean, about how to get that timer in the
exactly.
And
we've all got to help each other.
And I tried my best to do what I did, and I came up with that on my intro, but it could have been better, but there was no way of me figuring that out.
But then, you know, if you look at the most popular drone live stream, which is Ken Heron's Thursday Night Live, it's so simple.
Yeah,
it's so you know basic visually, but it's, you know, it's much more focusing on the content, and that's one of the things. I mean, I'm obsessed with the video production side of things, and I want things to look better and better and sound better and better as much as possible. But you know, you've got to have the content there as well. You've got to have the information that's going on to pull the crowd in.
Correct. JC Flying, thank you for coming in. Have yourself a wonderful night, sir. And yeah, he's saying Sean is loaded with info.
Yeah.
Have a great week. So he's saying goodbye to you as well.
I'm definitely full of something, JC. That's for sure.
Yeah, Sean. This community is amazing, and I love this community. And you know, everyone does help each other out, and I do, you know, Sean, when I came across your channel, and I just absolutely fell in love with your channel, and all the drones you do, and how well polished you are with your show, and with all the information that you get. It's absolutely A++ for me. So I really enjoy having you here, and watching your channel as well. I mean, it's wonderful. It is.
Hey, yeah, no, thank you very much. And it's, you know, it's still an evolving beast, and you know, we're only just starting to find our voice as a channel.
Yes,
we've now got a little team of us together, and there's more people that are coming on board the channel very soon. So that the voice is we're still finding our voice a little bit. But yeah, it's starting to get there for sure.
How do you get those girls on your channel?
Hey, you know, it's more the it's more the personality that we attract, and then, you know, right, if they're good looking as well, it helps, of course. But it's, you know, it's something that I'm very big into collaborating with people. I love collaborating and working with other creators, and then that just brings us together. I mean, Stephen, who's one of my main co-hosts now, who was co-hosting with me last night, he came on onto Geeksvana as a guest one week, and we got on very, very well, and we developed it from there. And Andrew's the same. Andrew was actually somebody that we interviewed, who runs a very large drone, a very successful drone business, and he's now become a co-host on the channel, and appears often in videos, etc. So it's, you know, it's about building these contacts and just being open. Be open to collaboration. Be open to working with people, and seeing where it takes you.
Sure.
Look who decided to stop by.
Sergio.
Oh, what's going on? Man, I'm so sorry, guys. I had to work. I had to go rescue one of the employees at work because he was so behind. He had 199 stops. I did 200 stops today, and I finished at 6. But then they called me. They told me that they need me to go rescue somebody so he doesn't get home late. So we want to make sure all the drivers are home safe.
That's nice of you. Nice of you.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, sir. How are you?
Sergio.
Good. What about you? Hey, Johnny.
We have
apologize.
Yeah, you're lagging a little bit, buddy. But Daddy of 13,
I am.
Kevin Fowler just stopped in, guys. How you doing, Kev? So, where were we, by the way? I lost my what I was supposed to say. Damn it.
Threads are good like that, aren't they? They're always disappearing on us. It often happens to myself. The worst I had was I had a sociology expert coming on to talk about the whole side of things of protesting against drone rules and that type of thing, and I completely lost my thread just before we were going on, and it took me a good 5 minutes when we came on air for me to get back on my track. It's sort of, I was just a bit sort of like, so tell me about yourself, you know, the cheesy sort of interview stuff and that sort of thing. So yeah, when that thread goes, it's horrible.
Yeah, you guys, go ahead, Johnny, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it is sometimes, you know, like you sitting there and you want to keep everything flowing. You know, like Sean, how do you like? Do you know your next video, or do you know?
It's all planning, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have a production process where I'll have essentially it's essentially a funnel. So lots of concept goes in the top. I have a long list of video concepts,
right?
Probably 60 or 70 videos in there at any one time, and then they'll then move forward into, you know, can you actually make a video out of that concept? Can I afford to make that video? You know, have I got the resources? Can I do that video in lockdown? Is a big one at the moment, because I've got a lot of videos that I want to make, but we're in lockdown at the moment, so I can't access a lot of the things. I had a lot of I had things like I'm going on a ride along with a drone police unit to see how they operate. Of course, we can't. Yeah, but of course we can't do that in COVID times. I actually had a hangar booked where we were going to fly a drone into a windshield of a Cessna to see what would actually happen. But again, we can't do that at the moment. So you have to work out the videos that you can make as well, both from affordability and things like, you know, lockdown.
And as far as your news, you just do the news as it pops up.
Yeah. I mean, and with the news, being a smaller channel, it's always important to try and pick the subjects that everyone else isn't talking about, all the really big stories. So if it's something like a new DJI release, of course, be all over that. But then, you know, perhaps try and pick up something different. Like we followed the issues over in Michigan where Jason Harrison was arrested for flying his drone in a park.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and one of our videos on that is just about to go over the 200,000 view mark. But again, that's because it's one of the only places you can find the information about that particular story. Not many other channels covered it. So it's finding the niches as well that will.
Yeah, and your videos are short, and your news stories are kind of short to the point and very informative. I mean, not that, you know, I
hate waffle.
I don't know what the attention span is pretty short on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, as a writer, my entire work as a writer is taking, you know, 5 paragraphs and making it 1 paragraph, so that you can get that information across. So I've tried before. There was a stage with my videos where I tried to start lengthening them out a bit for watch time and that type of thing. Right. And, you know, okay, I'm going to talk about this subject today, but I'll put all these different blocks in there, which will make it about 3 or 4 minutes longer. And I hated it. I just hated it. I just want to get on camera, talk about the thing that's exciting me, talk about the facts, and try and deliver it in a very neutral way, so that, you know, again, I'm not trying to put my own personal politics on it or anything else like that, and say, this is what happened, here's the information, and just give it to the audience and let them do with that information what they want, basically. I don't like the waffle. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's one thing about me. Like when I try to come up with an idea for the next show, or even if I'm on a show and I know what to say, and if I get distracted easily, like I'll just lose it. Like I'll forget what I have to do next easily. I easily get distracted, so I can't do too many things at once. I'm that type of person. But
yeah, I mean, with the live shows,
I can, Mike.
Yeah, I know you can, but Sergio, you're lagging, buddy. You're lagging. You're lagging.
With the live shows, I actually do the opposite with the live shows. I always make sure that I've got about 20 or 30 minutes more than I need of content. And that way, if anything happens, like a guest falls out, or, you know, things just don't take as long to chat about that I thought they would, it just gives us a little bit more to talk about. And then I put it in a sort of priority tree of the stuff that's most important to talk about going downwards.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I have to start doing something like that. I have to start like just sit down, Sean, one day and just come up with a bunch of ideas and
Yeah, and just take the just have a concept list and just put any old nonsense in there. I want to fly my drone through a school bus. I want to I want to sit and I want to tell people what's inside my drone bag. I want to do this,
Yeah.
and then just every time that you want to move a video on to the next one, you think, okay, what can I afford to make this month? What can I realistically do time-wise? And then you move on to the next bit, and then that next list is only 20 videos, and then you say, okay, what do I actually really feel passionate about making right now? And then you sit down and write the scripts for those videos, and then suddenly you've got 3 or 4 videos you can record that week that you're passionate about, that you have all the information for, that you're confident you can make, and it just happens. Because procrastination, in my opinion, with YouTube starts with trying to do too much, basically, and trying to get those ideas that are great ideas, but just can't be made yet for whatever reason. We're all, especially us small channels, we haven't got the funds that these channels that have millions of subscribers have got to throw at these videos. You look at people like Mark Rober and those production values, and even your Casey Neistats and things. Casey Neistat will make a 20-minute video. He'll make it look like he's rolled out of bed. He'll balance his camera on a Coke can or something, but what you don't see is the 3 or 4 other production assistants around him, and the lighting guy and the sound guy, and the making him look like he's just rolled out of bed, frankly. So it's incredible.
It is. It's just I get that like writer's block. Oh, is that Giovanni? Hi, Giovanni, my nephew. So yeah, I get that writer's block, and
is why you've got to stick with what's exciting you at that moment, and that will take, because again, just because it's not necessarily something that's popular on YouTube at the moment, you don't know when that's going to start ending up getting traffic. Some of my videos that are the most viewed actually got the traffic 6 months after I made them. So
really?
but I was passionate about those videos at the time I made them. So then when people do start searching for it, they're not just getting some sort of monotone sort of thing. They're getting oh wow, this is really interesting. My only other thing I would say, sorry, I didn't mean to make this a YouTube tips thing.
Go ahead.
Is try and involve one other niche. I had a video that did quite well. It's about 15 or 16,000 views, which was on a drone flight within Chernobyl, where they basically went to do a drone inspection within there, and the company that did the drone inspection very kindly gave us the footage so we could make a video with it. So again, the people searching for Chernobyl get that video, but also the people looking for commercial drones get that video as well. So try and whenever you can, put another niche that can get in there. So I don't know, taking your drone fishing with you, because again, you're going to get the fishing audience in there as well as the drone audience.
We were thinking about doing that. Me and my brother, like get some like do some fishing footage, like here and there, get some like good footage with the drone, because we love fishing, me and my brother too. So
nice.
Because we were thinking about maybe going and like go fishing at a location and have a drone like orbiting us while we're fishing, and get some like that action-packed stuff. How fishing
right.
Yeah. So, and then the line go in the water, and then the fish eating the bait with the GoPro in the water. It's something like that.
Very cool.
You know what I'm gonna do? My idea is gonna be with a line underneath the drone with the bobble, and if I catch a fish, I'm gonna lift my drone up, and I'm gonna have a I'm gonna pull that fish out of the water.
I think there actually are drone fishing products out there, aren't there? There are actually solutions that can drop bait and that type of thing.
And you can see that. They do that all the time.
Hi, Giovanni.
Say hi, Gio. Say hi.
And Novice Quads is saying it depends on your tag words and stuff. A lot of that depends on the views you get.
Yeah. I mean, tag. I have to say that tag words seem to pretty much be dead.
Really?
Yeah, YouTube say tag words are good for general description and often actually misspelling. One of the good things to do is if you've got something that you know, actually put a tag in there of drone but misspell it in a common way. So DORNE, that type of thing, that can help, because actually if someone misspells it, it brings it further up the stream. But the most important thing is the title and thumbnail these days. And if you get the title and thumbnail right, you can look at videos that have got 100 million views and they've got 3 or 4 tags. And you know, they've got a good description, but the title and the thumbnail is spot on.
So the title, I mean, does it have to be? Is there a certain way of titling things, or is it just you know,
things like top 5, watch this.
Okay.
You know, the things that are giving people instructions that are a call to action. I found those work quite well.
Okay.
You know, we had the guy that jumped off the bridge that was captured by a drone. Then the drone crashed. A diver found the drone, took the SD card out, and publicized the footage. So we called that "Watch This Heart-Stopping Drone Footage." You know, so it pulls the viewer in without being clickbait, basically.
Sean, do you always make the thumbnail a part of your video, or is that a separate thing you do? I mean, you know, like sometimes is it a separate picture, or?
Yeah, I mean, often it's a separate picture. Often,
yeah. You just
but again,
yeah.
it's especially because, for instance, I've just done a series of drone rule videos, which is just me talking to camera. So that isn't a very interesting thumbnail again and again of me going, you know, right. And you know, I'm not lib. I'm not as attractive as that. So yeah, I'll throw a stock photo up there of a drone, that type of thing, and try and match that to the subject matter, and then pull them in with it. The other important thing I would say about thumbnails is get a thumbnail style. If you look at my channel, every single thumbnail looks the same, and the advantage there is that when your audience sees that thumbnail on the list, they recognize it as a Geeksvana video.
Gotcha.
And therefore they're like, oh, it's I haven't seen that one from Geeksvana yet, especially once YouTube starts throwing up old videos to your audience as well. So yeah. They may be more attracted to it because they know it's you. So it's like, oh, that's the same thumbnail as Johnny Drone Flyer's other video, and it's on this.
I can check that out.
Yeah, it helps. And you know, I changed my thumbnails from my current design to what I thought was a really snazzy design about 8 months ago, and my click-through rate just went off a cliff because people weren't recognizing the thumbnail anymore. I changed them back, and the click-through rate went straight back up again because people, they're Sean's videos again.
So you're saying it's good to always change a different thumbnail?
No, to have the same format. So I mean, if you if I bring up, I'll bring up my channel very quickly on my phone.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's basically, although my thumbnails are all very different, there's still a. Let me get it to there. You know, I've got the red band at the bottom and then the white text across it, but then above that is different in every single video, of course. But that red band with the white text is almost my brand of thumbnail. So people, when they see that, they think, oh, that's a Geeksvana video, so I'll watch that. So yeah, it helps.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Now I'm looking at it. Yeah.
There you go, Johnny. See, now you know how to make a learn a little bit from Sean how to make a thumbnail.
Yeah, click through rate's the most important thing, and then keeping them, as Bob Casey's just saying, keeping your audience involved, and call to action whilst you're in the video helps. So if you want to know something, say that fairly early on in the video. So for instance, with my drone rule videos that I've been doing for the UK recently, fairly early on in that video, I'll say, what has your experience been of this particular rule? Let me know in the comments below, which of course generates a bit more interaction with the audience as well. So
yes. Bob Casey, you said that you wanted me to play something. He says play it, Michael. What is it that you want me to play? Play it, Michael. What is it you want me to play, Bob? Let me know. But for those of you who are watching, we do thank you for watching. And if you guys want to donate to the channel, please do so at right down there, guys, at PayPal me Flyzone Drone Quads. We really appreciate all your love and support. If you do, and you don't have to, if you don't want to, we still love you. And yeah, that's about it. And then if you guys want to share your videos, we have we do it every third Friday of every month. No, it's every second Friday of every month. Where you can show off your videos that you guys have created, and just send it. You guys send it to my email. I'll post it up right here, guys. You just send it here, and oh, hold on. I always do this, guys. I always have a chat blocking my email every time. This is the second time that this has happened, boys. So let me do that again. I'm so sorry. All right, let's go back. Let's post that up again so everyone can see. This is where you send your videos, not Messenger. Here, my email. Okay? So there you have it, guys. So, well, Sean, we appreciate you coming in. It's about that time. We've been over an hour. Yep. So we really appreciate you coming on the show. We are very grateful having you here. And in my eyes, you are the best to me, man. I love your channel. And guys, just for a little bit, let's give a moment of silence and from Marcus Crawford and his father. His father passed away. I think he was 98 years old. He passed away this morning. This is from Marcus Crawford at Idaho Quadcopters. So let's give it a moment of silence for Mr. Marcus Crawford. We love you, Marcus. We love you. So that does it, guys. You want anything to say, Johnny? You have anything to say at all?
No, just thanks, Sean, for coming in. I know it's late, and we appreciate it. And
anytime.
Great show, great information there, especially at the end there about YouTube. Yeah, I think we all can learn a little bit, and yeah, we're excited about the Mars thing, and I'm definitely gonna keep up with that. Yeah, and special shout out to Marcus and his family, but he'll get that. But it'll be, like I say, a couple days for him. But his family and the drone community is gonna reach out to him. So thanks everybody.
Thank you, Johnny. We love you, bro. We thank you always for being on our show as our co-host. And Sergio, you have anything to say, buddy?
Yes. I just want to say sorry, guys. I'm late. I'm very sorry, but I appreciate for your support, and please hit that like, and don't forget to comment. And you want to say something?
Yeah.
Say. Please subscribe. And hit that like button.
Hit that like button.
And see you on the next live show.
Next show.
All right.
Yay!
Perfect.
All right, boys. Sean, would you like to say anything before we go?
Hey, no, just apart from the fact that thanks a lot for having me on here. It's been great. I've been getting around a few other channels, courtesy of Ray Kelly, sort of putting me in contact. Then, of course, I met Johnny, and then Johnny. So it's nice how these strings of streams sometimes comes together, and I always get to meet some new cool people. So thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We love having you, Sean. Everybody, don't forget, fly safe. Happy flying, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next live show. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.